Okay, I hope everything works so far. And yeah, welcome to the stream today. I'm going to play Pure Nature and Bandits only today. Okay. Perfect. So I'm gonna open up some PvP lobbies and see if anyone's going to join me in these matches. And we've got our first opponent for today. And yeah, I guess I'll just go through all these matches, and I'll sort of commentate on why I'm doing stuff in these games. Okay, we're playing against Shadow Rights here, so I'm gonna start with Spearman because Swiftclaw usually is the better choice, as it's a swift unit in most cases, but against Shadow it's not that good because I simply do need combat stats, and Swiftclaw simply gets destroyed by Nox Troopers. So that's sort of unfortunate. So my opponent is starting with Skeleton Warriors, so I'll leave the Spearman in S counter mode, because otherwise it would make pretty much no sense to switch. Against Dread Charger you would switch them into M counter mode, but yeah, that's not necessary for now. So I'm gonna play some Windweavers in this matchup. They are pretty much essential in the Shadow matchup, because they do a lot of work, especially against Nox Troopers, and you can sort of kite Dread Chargers with Ensnaring Roots. So I think he's going to play instant tier 2 here, because he's not playing any units, and I already invested 140 power. Okay, he's not playing tier 2, so I'm gonna win this fight now for sure. I don't think there's any... yeah, that's an early activation, so I'll just move down here, simply because these ones are going to die anyways. So there are Witch Claws incoming, so he's gonna nasty that, but that's not working, as you can see, because I have simply the heal to do work against that. That was simply a trade for 100 power for the 80 of my heal here, so not a big deal. And now you can see why Windweavers are quite powerful in this matchup, and also why Witch Claws are simply not that good. They simply take double damage from the shots here from my Windweavers, which is pretty optimal. I'm gonna use the Hurricane here onto the Forsaken, because I simply want to get this power down as soon as possible. So for now we are going to be fine. I'll switch targets here. So he's picking up Shadow Nature. Okay. So this is the first Hurricane against my units. I'll get this orb down in like no time. Gonna use the Shaman, the Dryad here to... okay, he disabled my Dryad, which is unfortunate, but as you can see the orb is going to drop anyway, so that's not a big deal. Gonna kite a little bit. And now we are gonna use the Dryad to sleep the MI Phantoms here, to reduce his DPS and sort of crowd control, because my units cannot attack once they're getting hit by the MI Phantom, and now we won the game. So that's nice so far. Okay. So let's just switch to Bandits for now. I'll just switch between Bandits and and pure nature each time. So yeah, let me check if everything with the stream is working. Should be fine, I guess. At least I hope so. Yeah. So I'm going to wait up until I get another opponent. And yeah, if I'm going to relog between the matches, I may stop the stream for a second because it sometimes lags a little bit when I try to relog and the game closes. I don't know why my streaming software is a little bit buggy there, but so I just may need to restart the stream in between those times where I have to relog. So don't worry about that. Because sometimes there's that bug where other people can't see my lobby, so I simply can't play a game because no one is going to join here. And if there's no one joining in like 2 or 3 minutes into the lobby, I'm going to restart for a second, which is going to be fine, although. So yeah, this is the Bandits deck I'm going to use. It's sort of focused onto tier 3 with 2 pretty big cards here with Solanta and Sandstorm. Probably not that necessary because usually one of them is enough. You either use the Exile unit as a finisher or the sort of spell, but I'm not sure. I just enjoy playing these cards, so I picked up that tier 3, and as you can see, my tier 2 is kind of small in comparison to that, but it's going to be fine because I think Dark Elf Assassin and Nightcrawlers are going to be the core units in this deck anyways, and yeah, I also don't enjoy playing with Rallying Banner because I think the playstyle is just too simple to be like enjoyable. I don't know, spamming Dark Elf Assassin and activating the ability is not like skillful or anything, so I prefer playing without it and sort of empowering my attacks by having that extra 50 power invested into units. But I guess I'm going to restart the stream for a second because I think I crashed, and yeah, see you in a second. Okay, there we go. Another try to get this map running. Gonna play Haladur for this time again, or for the first time today. And yeah, we got our first opponent playing Nature tier 1. So I'm probably at an advantage on this map because Haladur is quite good for a Shadow tier 1 against Nature. Since I can split attack and pressure a lot. Oh yeah, Amazon starts quite standard, but not that good against Shadow because you pretty much, as I said, are sort of helpless against Nox Troopers with that card. So I'm probably going to fight him head on here because he played the Amazon. He may use 3 spirits, so that is my only concern right now. But I guess we're going to deal with that. Okay, he picked up a power well just in the middle, so that's fine so far. I'm gonna pull him away from his base so he can't spawn unless 3 spirits, and right here there's no way I can lose that fight. We are also in a distance to rush a potential instant tier 2, but I think he's going to play 3 spirits, otherwise he's not going to last long here. He's not using any cards though. Okay, there's Spearman, I'm interested. So let's go and play some additional Nox Troopers and another Dread Charger into the mix. So he's using the ensnaring roots, which is okay, but here's also a problem of the Amazon. She has to get close to these units to be somewhat useful, and that's just not worth it, because I can damage him during the root duration, so the root was pretty much worth like nothing. As you can see, that fight was, yeah, there's a true spirit, as expected. But I do have motivated Nox Troopers, so this one's going down quickly. We just need to get rid of the Wind Weavers now. Pretty optimal. I didn't lose my Forsaken here. I should have run with my Dread Charger. Okay, never mind. That was just too late. Okay, my Forsakens didn't get hit. That's good. And the True Spirit is going to die anyways. Just fine. I'm gonna activate the Forsaken, because if you place a Hurricane, you have to invest 50 power for a unit that is almost dead. And I will focus down that well. Because sustained fights are somewhat good for nature, but if I take the well and then pick up my tier 2 later on, there's no way I'm gonna pay for losing the Nox Troopers, but I get the payoff due to the 100 lost power here from that power well. Okay, he rebuilds again. So I can try to retreat and maybe force out the roots or something. Yeah, there you go. I'm still in position to pick up a well here and defend that, because I could, in theory, pick up face towers or something. I'm not gonna do that though. Just making sure my units don't don't get hit by the spearman. Yeah, that's the heal. If my Dread Charger survives, that's completely worth it. Just picking up 2 other units here to hold off that push. If I heal up, I'm going to attack from 2 sides, so there's not that much room for crowd control and that stuff, giving me the upper hand in this upcoming fight. Especially since my Void is coming back, that I lost, sort of the power I lost from the Nox Trooper fight is coming back into my pool right now, while he is sort of still sitting on that lost power well, and he also picked up just 1 extra well while I'm sitting at 2. So I'm gonna pick up tier 2 here, playing an Nox Trooper and completely pushing around now, so he can't properly respond by himself, because if he picks up anything right now, I'm just gonna sort of destroy his army. Okay, he's spamming Tree Spirits. I will go for the well focus, because I do have the tier 2 in the back to support my units afterwards. I'm gonna use a lava field maybe. I'm not sure if this lava field was that good. Yeah, because of the heal. It was okay, but I think even trades, if you play tier 2 cards and you trade sort of evenly, because I damaged the spearman and got like the heal, it's not that what you want. You really don't want these even trades. You want to be sort of more effective with your cards. When I use a Nightcrawler and go into the main base to cause some distraction, I'm playing against Pure Nature, which is a pretty good matchup for Bandits, to be fair. I'm gonna use another lava field and maybe nasty into that. I used the knockback here. Maybe I'm gonna just nasty. I don't want to deal with that huge tier 1 army. It was not that clean here. But okay, there's an energy parasite spam. That is a problem, because I do not have the power for a Skyfire Drake right now. Best thing I can do is killing that stuff with Dark Elf Assassins. Yeah, at least I got to stop one of them. So that's a pretty good payoff. As he's using the Spirit Hunters, I'm going to Ravage the Nightcrawler, because now he can't oink me anymore. Due to the poison, he's going to get out of the oink pretty soon. And that's quite good for me. I really need to pick up a Skyfire Drake as soon as possible. As you can see, like, okay, the oink came in later, but the well is gone. So this is pretty good for me. Even though he has like the energy parasites to distract me here. I need to move a little bit further ahead here to activate and get the parasite before he hits my well. So you can see this is defended successfully. I'm gonna ravage the Nightcrawler again because I do have just much more power than him. So he can try to stop me here, but yeah. Gonna keep our units alive for a while here. While setting up a split attack. I just want to run around here, so maybe spend some additional power onto this base. A root or something would be enough for me. Okay. I'll use Dark Elf Assassin spam now to support my attacks here. Okay, that one died. That's unfortunate. I guess I need to retreat here a little bit. And that's game. That's okay. Okay. Oh, whoops. Didn't want to send a message, just wanted to leave the group. Can I switch my deck again? Does it work? Yeah, okay. Gonna pick up Pure Nature again. And next map is going to be Elion. I'm just going to pick map by map. Everything here is going to be played. I also need to get some gold again to upgrade the last cards. Like my Shrine of Memory is still on upgrade 1. Same goes for my Parasite Swarm, so that's not optimal. And also like my tier 3, I don't have any upgrades for Mo, but it's not that necessary because the upgrades only affect the abilities, which is quite nice. So I think he's playing a different deck now than in the last game, so I'm probably going to face Pure Nature now. I would like a Pure Nature Mirror, or maybe, yeah, well, tier 1 is probably that's the thing that is going to decide these matchups, because usually if you play a Pure Nature Mirror, there is no chance in going tier 2, but I need to be somewhat careful because he's spamming 3 spirits right now. That is a pretty toxic way of playing Nature tier 1, so I need to be very careful in how I play this matchup. He's using 3 of them already, so my macro needs to be on point to be successful in this matchup. I pretty much want 2 Dryads in this matchup, because later on at least I want 2 Dryads, because the damage reduction is quite important against the green affinity. And yeah. Also I don't use the freeze because just because okay, he's using them aggressively. That's fine for me. Okay. I am soaking up some of the damage. Well, I just I just forgot what to say. Oh yeah, I don't want to use the sleep from Dryad because the tree spirits are doing their damage in burst rotations, so I somewhat don't want to sleep them because they don't lose DPS, because they attack every 10 seconds, and that is not... Oh, I had to switch the Dryad, that was a micro mistake here. If you sleep tree spirits with the Dryad and they come out of the sleep, they will attack again for like their 10-second burst rotation. So if you don't time the sleep perfectly, you sort of do not lose any DPS, and that's unfortunate. So that wall is a pretty bad choice because I simply can't attack the power well from here. The wall doesn't protect these power wells, so it's going to drop. And there's no way he can defend this now, because he also had to invest that much power into building up this wall after the losing fight, especially. Now I can just make the short hold position for my shamans, so they are going to heal anyways. I will sleep with the dryads. Gonna switch again. Okay, never mind. That didn't go off, but it's going to be fine, because they do have the spearman in the inside of his base. So as you can see, if you fight tree spirits early with the spearman, you can soak up the burst rotations, heal them up again, and sort of win the fight, which is quite nice. I need to break up this wall, otherwise I'm going to lose the spearman, but I don't mind. Because I can't, I think. Oh, I can. Oh, I could heal them. Or did I? I'm not sure if that was possible or not, but doesn't matter in the end. As you can see now, I'm up by 2 power wells in this matchup, and there's probably no possibility of a comeback. So, yeah. This is why I value Spearman that highly. So, I really do like Spearman. Tier 2 is going to be a desperate move. It's Shadow though, so probably the best deck to hold off Tier 1 pushes. You can do stuff like Shadow Phoenix with crowd control, or I don't know. Yeah, I think Shadow Phoenix with crowd control is one of the best things to hold off tier 1 pushes, and also the Shadow units are quite strong, while Nature's CC is probably the cheapest and best crowd control in the game. So I'm going to split up my army a little bit, so he can't crowd control everything at once. He's going to use an Aura of Corruption, and I sort of doubt that he has the power to kill my army here. As you can see, they play 60 power units, and that's just not enough to kill anything. I can still stay here and pick up a power wall, because he has no power to deal with that. Yeah, even with the Hurricane. We're just chilling here in the Aura. He could have spammed heals though. They would damage my army. Well, that was interesting, playing against tree spirits. Didn't see them for a couple of days. So I'm gonna pick up the Bandits deck again. Wait, I'm not going to play random PvE. At least not today. So Alien was the last map, so we're picking up Vazai. I don't like that map, honestly. It's so... It's full of these close spots where you really need to pay attention of sort of not getting erupted, nastied, or CC'd, and sort of makes the game, I don't know, very... on one side it's going to sort of cut down aggression by a lot, if you play, for instance, Fire against Shadow or something, because you can't run through these choke points. But once you do a big mistake or something, you can just walk up to like these spots here and attack power wells over the wall. So that is pretty much something you don't want to do. So as you can see, he's playing a Swiftclaw, and I can tell you he's not going to win tier 1 with that. This tier 1 fight is pretty much lost for him, because he started with that Swiftclaw. Now I can start spamming Nox Troopers, and if he doesn't use Tree Spirits or something, he's going to lose the game right now. So there's another Swiftclaw. So that's just not working against Shadow. Now I can sort of show why Nox Troopers are superior to Swiftclaws. Like, it's not like I do have to do that much. Like, even if I don't micro, there's no way Nox Troopers lose to Swiftclaws. And this is why you actually want to start with Spearmen in this matchup. They are pretty essential. Well, I guess that match was quite short for Bandits, but yeah. Maybe we're going to be lucky on this map here. Lajesh, the big wall map. So that's quite cool. On this map, if you play Pure Nature, you do have a pretty big advantage because Pure Nature sort of sucks against like M-unit spam. For instance, if there's going to be Barova spam and it's supported by Hurricane, you do have some problems because you use Ghost Spears and Spirit Hunters to counter M-units on lower power levels, and that is not going to work against Barovas with Hurricane support. So the Jesh is sort of a pretty good map for Nature because you simply can wall up with Nature, spam EPs from these energy parasites here from a safe spot, and build up your Shrine of Memory. And there's only one angle for your opponent to attack, and that can be covered up by ensnaring roots. So it's like you can pick up, if you start from this position here, you can in theory pick up this wall in the early game. If there's going to be aggression in tier 2, you can pick up this wall later on, and then there's only that spot here on that corner to attack your main base. There are 4 power wells, you can spam energy parasites, and you can build up your Shrine of Memory. So this is pretty much the perfect condition for Nature to set up a strong tier 2, because even though your opponent may pick up a 5th or 6th power well, if you pick up energy parasites and stay even up until your Shrine of Memory runs, it's going to be more than enough to compensate for being down like 2 wells here, and then you can like spam Barovers and D1s and perma heal them and completely destroy your opponent. So yeah. Why choose Mo and not other Nature XL units? Why do I have Mo in this deck? Pretty much for the Stampede ability, because in Shadow Frost, or at least in most Frost splashes, they do use that Timeless one. And that card is pretty much effective against everything that is not XL and has no base nuke, because Timeless one is going to crowd control units for 20 seconds for 10 power, which is pretty much insanely strong. And I sort of do have Mo here for 2 reasons, because first of all, he's an XL unit, so he is not that weak against Timeless one, because I can perma heal him if he gets if he's frozen, and also I can try to break through the Frost defense, which is going to be used by they are going to be protects like Glacier Shell, Cobalt Trick, shield building, maybe even Ward of the North, and like the Stampede is quite useful against that, and sort of due to the fact that I use Shrine of Memory, I have more power than most other decks if the game goes to tier 3, because usually at that stage the Shrine of Memory is going to be running. I will have like plus 20 from my Void, so I get like 10 power per second just through my Void, and therefore I will reach these power levels way earlier, so I can use the Mo to finish off opponents faster, and it's more effective than Brannock, because I think Brannock is usually more effective when you do have like also life weaving to support him, because also Brannock does a job like his job at countering XL units, and I'll use the Fathomlord for that. So it's not like it synergizes that well with my deck. So I prefer Mo in Pure Nature over the Brannock, or the Abyssal Warrior is like, it's fine to play. It has like okay combat stats, but I think it's just way too slow. It's not finishing off games, and I also want to finish off games if I'm going to tier 3, because the amount of base nuke is going to be much higher compared to tier 2, and you may lose orbs much faster against all these aggressive fire cards like Giant Slayer, or also Ashbone Tremor. There are so many siege cards or rage cards that are going to do that much damage, and I simply don't want to lose them. So I don't want to lose my orbs against them, at least. I think my lobby is bugged again, so I'm going to restart the stream for a second, so at least Okay, I hope it works again. So we are playing Lajesh now. I really do need the upgrades from a Parasite Swarm. They're super essential, but it's so hard to upgrade the ultra rares. Especially, I think I do need like level 12 in PvE to upgrade the ultra rares to upgrade 3. How do you deal with face towers? Well, I do have Primal Defender in case I'm going to get spammed by face towers. I cannot push against them. I cannot win fights against proper face tower usage. Like, especially on maps like Vazai, the map I just played in the last game. You cannot survive against face towers unless you build up a Primal Defender or something. Or maybe even 2, I don't know. But yeah, that's sort of my card to survive the early game. Because if he's going to port the face tower into the Primal Defender, it's going to lose due to the damage reduction. But it's sort of, well, it's not optimal because he can still move his face tower around and sort of do a lot of stuff. But pretty much, to give the best example on Vazai, is when you pull up the Primal Defender just in front of your main base, there's no way a face tower is going to get around it to attack your main base. So you're going to be safe for a good amount of time, and this is the time you can use to maybe pick up tier 2. And if you may fall behind against face tower regardless of Primal Defender, but you can at least in pure nature, if you play Energy Parasite and stuff, you can at least try to compensate into early tier 2 for that, because face towers are quite slow, and then your opponent has a lot of bound power, and you can sort of run around with the Energy Parasites and get back into the game. On some bigger maps, you can also try to just keep distance and pick up power wells far away from the face towers, or try to maybe go for a split attack or something. There are some ways to punish greedy face tower users, but if they play it perfectly, there's sort of no way to survive unless you use the Primal Defender. Yeah, I only use the Primal Defender in case I do see the face tower, because otherwise it's just that my opponent can run around the Primal Defender or pick up a power well by himself, and I can't pick up a power well by... so if he picks up a power well and I do have the Primal Defender, I simply do have 60 power less than him, and he can just spam power wells, and I can't pick them up as fast as he does, because I still have these 60 power sitting in my base, and it's literally doing nothing. And yeah, this is why you don't want to use the Primal Defender unless you see there is going to be a face tower spam, or if you... It's also useful against pure frost when there's going to be a frost mage spam, because at like a critical value where he has like around 10 frost mages, there's no way you can win the fight anymore. So there is the possibility to play a Primal Defender, because the enemy has a lot of bound power in his frost mages, who are quite slow, so they can't run around quickly around like to avoid the Primal Defender. So he can buy a lot of time and maybe also win a fight if he's going to engage into that, which is pretty important to survive frost mage spam in that way. Because if you have like 10 mages or 11, I don't know, or I think 10 is already enough, they do like big burst rotations. I think 8, I think we do have 9 right now, and if there's like a set Swift Glow and it's going to be seen by the mages, they're going to do these burst rotations, and as you can see, the Swift Glow is dead before it reaches one of the mages, and at this point you sort of lose like 100 worth of power before you even get into the fight, and this is where you can't fight the frost mages anymore, and where you need a Primal Defender if you're going to be in these fights, because there's no other way of surviving. I'm not sure if my map is not working or something. I may relog again, so give me 1 second. Okay, there we go again. So what do you think about two unit tier 1 Amazon tree spirits? I think you're referring to the Aragon tier 1. I can tell you that this tier 1 is pretty, well, it's a pretty unstable tier 1, to be fair, because it's not going to work against a lot of combos that are going to that you are going to face in higher ranks. Like tree spirits alone, they don't hold off a lot of stuff. Like if you play against Shadow and you're facing face towers and you don't have a primal defender, the tree spirits are not going to save you. I think like if you want to pick up a 2 unit tier 1, you want to use the Amazon and the tree spirit, because in that case Amazon is better than Swiftclaw, because it scales up into tier 2. Because it is first of all an L counter, which is very valuable, and it has like the insane ability to control beasts and just make sure they are not going to be be able to attack you. Like you can, especially, oh, I think the lobby need to recreate it. Like the Nightcrawler, you can take them, activate the frenzy, so he's going to fight you at full power for 20 seconds, and then your opponent is going to get the Nightcrawler back and it dies immediately because of the frenzy. So that's a pretty niche use of the Amazon, and I think it's better than Swiftclaw here in tier 1. So if you want to play two unit tier 1, it is the Amazon tree spirit choice, but it's not going to work in high ranked. There are a lot of ways to play around that. There are a lot of ways to abuse that, and sometimes instant tier 2 won't save you as well. So like, yeah, I've seen Aragon and I've seen replays by him losing to guys like Hero in 2 minutes, 3 minutes, even when they used when you used Primal Defender. You can abuse that heavily, because you actually need like Spearmen and Windweavers to properly fight in these extended tier 1 fights if your opponent knows how to abuse the 2 cards you do have. Like the biggest problem, especially in the Shadow matchup, is the face tower, because let me show what I mean. I think, okay, I don't have a tree spirit, that sucks, so I can't show that. But face tower does have a 40-meter attack range, and tree spirit I think is sitting at 30 or 35. So the attack range by tree spirit is lower than the face tower attack range. And if the tree spirit is rooted, it takes so much time up until he's going to be able to attack the face tower. And then the face tower can relocate and the tree spirit is going to be out of range again. So there's a pretty nasty way to abuse tree spirits. And on small maps you also lose nature mirrors, because you can soak up the damage from tree spirits by spearmen. I hope my lobby didn't crash again, because no one is joining here. That would be quite unfortunate. Maybe I need to join into other lobbies, I don't know. So there are 2 pages here out of PvP players, and I think I've seen even some decent ones here that I do know from the past here. Well, guess it's going to be time to open my booster. Okay, that's nice. I've got an Ice Guardian. I think I still do need to charge for that, even though I don't have the third upgrade for him. Oh wait, I just have one charge, so that's actually fine. Apparently, I think can I upgrade that again? I don't know what bug this is. Like I cannot upgrade my upgrade my Aura of Corruption. I don't know what's the problem. It always says upgrade combined failed, and I have no clue what's happening there. Um, well, if anyone knows that, feel free to tell me why I can't charge upgrade my Aura. I think I'm going to restart again because I think my lobby is bugged and no one can actually join. So give me a second. Okay, apparently it wasn't bugged, so just no one joined, I guess. Um, I think I'll just pick up Urmia because maybe it is because people don't want to play on Largesh, because I don't think the map was that popular due to the walls. On the other side, maybe no one just wanted to play right now, or already all people are in game. I don't know. So let me check if anyone is online. So Enno is going to watch replays here. Battlegrounds. Does anyone know who this guy is? Like pretty much a fanboy of Hero and Elendil or something? Um, had to laugh at this name here. It was quite amusing to me when I saw this today. Okay, the lobby crashed. That is brilliant. The classic loot bug, but I think maybe it was the map. Maybe no one wanted to play on Lajesh. I must start Urmia again. Maybe I do upgrade my Rogan Kale right now because the first upgrades are at least somewhat cheap, and I think without upgrades this card is entirely useless. I really do need the cost reduction onto the ability, especially that one. The second one is very important because I think Rogan is very expensive anyways, and yeah, I just need the upgrade. If my lobby crashed now, I'm going to be mad, but I think it should work, right? There were just 2 people who joined here. But actually they joined at the same time, so the lobby crashed. So I'm going to wait again. So yeah. So what can we do in the meantime? Maybe I can try the challenge again because I do have that Eye Phantom back in my pocket. What I tried to do is destroying a face tower with an Eye Phantom without getting a single hit. I don't think I can do this. My micro sucks here. Well, I already messed up. So let's keep the challenge by killing the face tower without getting hits by without letting the MF Phantom die. So what I can do is like run around the face tower, and he still needs some time to turn, and during that time he can't attack me here. So at some point I can do an attack, run again, and there is no attack incoming onto my MI Phantom. This only works with cards that do have a quick attack animation, and now she's stuck. That should not happen. But yeah, it's quite hard to actually execute this. And the skill is still somewhat useless in PvP, because if I run around the face tower for like ages... Oh, now it's going to turn, that was too far. So you need to sort of hit the perfect moment here to do this. Yeah, you got that attack. Okay, whatever. I'm not going to... Why do you use green Spirit Hunter over purple? Pretty much for the simple reason that they do more damage. Like these ones are simply doing 20 per second, and these ones are doing 30, and I do use the do like the actual additional DPS much more, because even though my opponent plays a life weaving or something onto his unit, the poison of the green Spirit Hunters will still be at 15, so it's not that much lower than 20, and overall this is just way more reliable. Also, this doesn't apply to pure nature that much. I do have Rogan as a damage buff, but that's not that much. But as you can see, the poison here, if I use, for instance, these guys in Stonekin, and I do use a Frostbite into the Shaman, you can see he's taking more than 30 damage per second. I think it's like 37.5 due to the additional damage he takes. But while purple Spirit Hunters do have this ability of dealing sort of true damage, so they will always deal the 20 damage. This is not just circumventing buffs, but also debuffs. So if we attack the Shaman, he's losing 20 per second through the poison, and if I debuff him, so he should take 25% extra damage, he's still taking 20%, 20 damage per tick here per second. So it's not synergizing well in the if you combine this guys with buffs or anything. And well, honestly, there's not that many units with shields where you are going to need the Spirit Hunters. They are going to deal with cards like Dark Elf Assassins, Night Crawlers. Like, you're going to kill these cards here, or in like Pure Fire you may use them against Enforcer, or I don't know, maybe even Scythe Fiends or whatever. But most of these units are not going to be buffed, because they are, most of them at least, are very cheap. And, well, Scythe Fiends are going to get buffed by Ravage. That doesn't affect the damage income here. So you pretty much do want the extra damage, because you rarely encounter buffs or shields or anything. So having the Green Spirit Hunters is quite nice. Because if you have a War Eagle or something and it's going to be shielded, you're not going to use Spirit Hunters, you'll try to take it with a Parasite Swarm. That's a clear thing. And therefore you do have other counters for shielded units or buffed units. You do also have crowd control chains. For instance, if there's going to be a Harvester, you can oink him, then use the Rogan of Kale ability, then oink him again, then use the Rogan of Kale ability, and all that stuff. And maybe play Ensnaring Roots in between, because the Rogan crowd control doesn't stack up with the CC stack. So if I use multiple CCs afterward, if I use a CC chain, for instance, if I oink, then root, and then I oink again, the second oink is going to have much shorter duration. I'll just show this. So right now it's going to be 15 seconds. Now we do have like two crowd control spells. Yeah, now he's here back again. I'll just wait until the oink runs out, but yeah, right now he's going to be oinked again, but you can see the duration is much shorter. It was like, what, 5 seconds or something? With Rogan you can chain CC, so that's a pretty useful strategy. I'm going to restart again because I'm not playing here, because no one is joining my lobby. Okay, there we go again. trying to make this work. Hear me up, your nature. Okay, I see a hashtag bandits. I'm gonna play the bandits deck again after I manage to finally find an opponent on Urmia. But I hope it's not going to take like not 10 minutes again up until I play this match here. Hopefully. How does Glacier Shield plus Cobalt Trick work? Do you know the specific time you need to wait? So what exactly do you mean? Do you mean like the time it takes up until you can Cobalt Trick again after the Glacier Shell? Or what's the actual question? Because they nerfed Glacier Shell at some point where they said like you can't use both protects at the same time. So yeah, I think you do need to wait the full 30 seconds up until you can use Cobalt Trick again. Or was it less? I'm not sure. I'll check that. I'm going to erupt that and then we will see how much time it takes. I think it is 30 seconds, maybe less. So this is going to last 30 seconds. Yeah, that's what I said, okay. We'll just check. Like 20 seconds left. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's exactly 30 seconds. So sometimes that may look weird because Glacier Shell can be broken by simple damage output. So if it sort of gets popped earlier than the 30 seconds, you may be unable to protect your power well anymore. So you need to be careful when using the Glacier Shell. Okay, I'm not sure what's the problem right now. I'm not. Okay, I think my game crashed again. That is, I'm not sure what's happening here. I'm not sure why this is crashing all the time. Maybe let's try another map. Generated sparring ground. That actually worked when I tried to play it, so maybe we can play that again. So let me check if the lobby's working, otherwise I'm going to restart immediately. Okay, it seems to work, so because otherwise if it doesn't work I can't click on this back button here. It will just lead to sort of the crash or something like that, where I'm just not going to be able to do anything anymore. So yeah. Thoughts about Cannon Tower. So Cannon Tower is actually a staple of PvE turrets in my opinion, but not that strong in PvP. He's used pretty often in Stormkin, because I think that is the deck where he is the most useful card. And what makes Cannon Tower so interesting is actually that he does more damage than this thing here says. It says 1600 damage, and if you check the damage output, it's saying like every 2 seconds the tower shoots like it launches a cannon, dealing 160 damage. But what EA forgot by calculating this damage per 20, they also use, if these cards do splash damage, this splash damage is also part of the damage output. So this guy can do up to 240 per 2 seconds. and usually they will do the splash damage calculation, like they will use if it's like 160 per 2 seconds, it's going to be 10 attacks in 20 seconds, so 1600 damage. Maximum damage is 2400 with full splash, and they will just use the number in between, so it would be 2000. So actually Cannon Tower does 2000 damage, which is more than the 1600 on the card description. You can actually check other cards. It's pretty accurate for the majority of the cards, but they simply forgot the splash damage for a Cannon Tower. It's pretty similar with Dryad, by the way. She also does a little bit more damage than it says on the card here. But overall, I think Cannon Tower is somewhat mediocre because he simply is way too slow. Like, a lot of Stonkin players use him because he's empowering the defense, and you can, like, sure, you can sort of stall and play along tier 2, defend against a lot of tier 3 stuff, but sometimes, especially if your opponent knows that you're playing Stonkin, there are some cards, like Lost Vigil for instance, that are just simply countering the Cannon Tower. So also XL units can be quite troublesome, and also split attacks are very effective. You can also already attack bases where just no Cannon Tower is around, and the defensive bomb power is like I just don't like it personally. There are some options to use the Cannon Tower. For instance, if your opponent uses an Aura of Corruption and you play Stonekin, you can pick up an Ice Barrier and spam Cannon Towers into the Aura, because buildings don't take damage from that, and therefore if your opponent is going to play like a unit to kill the Cannon Tower during the construction time, you can play another Cannon Tower or maybe a spell or something to kill everything that is going to be played. And unless your opponent doesn't play Fire Splash, so Bandits so to say, there is like not that much. You can use Corpse Explosion, but I think that's it. There's like, apart from that, there's not that much you can use to destroy that Cannon Tower. So yeah. Your lobby is invisible, by the way. Okay, thanks for telling me, so I can restart again. This is pretty annoying. Okay, another try. Okay. Ask in chat for a 1v1. Works better for me. That's something I could do. You know I'm going to do that. 1v1 PvP. Invite me. So anyone who wants to play can simply invite me. Oh, that may be quite useful, yeah. Okay, let's gonna do this. No quest. Okay, I've got an invite. Okay. Why an Emperor go? Tower and PvP. Okay, we're going to play against Nomads. So I'm using the Swiftclaw here. Map is quite big, so I will pick up that power wall. So okay. Nomads. I'm not a big fan of nomads in PvP, to be honest. Second power wall. I will just pick up one by myself. I'm interested what he's up to. So against fire, I apparently do want 2 Dryads, because the damage reduction is quite important. Okay, he's trying to set up 3 Nomads, I guess. And therefore I'm going to use the Spearman. Mortar Tower, interesting. So he's trying to, well, defend his space. I'm not sure, I think this is in range for his main base, so it will be quite hard to push him. But we're going to try that. Otherwise it would be lame. I don't want to pick up... I could also pick up a power wall here, but I'm interested in what he does when I play a little bit more aggressive. Oh wait, I wanted to activate these ones. Okay, second mortar. Maybe... okay, that mine. He's going to try to defend his main base. Well, that's not going to work, because this is how you can pretty much efficiently deal with turrets without taking any risk, even though he wasted that mine here. That makes things just easier. I pick up another power well. So, what is he going to do? If he picks up a power well on that base, I can simply attack that, because there's no turret. And if he doesn't pick up a power well, I do have another power well, and he, yeah, can go tier 2, but he will have less power than me. So that's quite nice for me. And I'm going to defend that. I'm not pushing because I think attacking against mortar is quite a big risk, and I don't want to run into that. And I do have a lot of units, so I can at least hold off the first incoming attacks here. And he also still does have like 250 bound power into these units, so he's not like having that much power. So there's a Death Glider. I'm not sure about that, to be honest. I think it's a good knockback against the Spearman, but the DPS is way too low. Just picking up some additional units here, and then we attack. I'll attack that base here. Let's see if he's going to put up a fight with this mortar. And I'm really not sure what he's up to, because he's down 2 power wells right now. I just get more and more power the longer this game lasts. So there's another mine. I don't want to risk running into that, because he could potentially use ensnaring grooves to hold my units in place, and that would be, well, quite a bad thing. I will pick up the Shrine of Memory so I can finish the game once I do have this running here. So he's using the range advantage here to attack my Spearman, but that's just not worth it. I can use the Dryads here. If he's retreating too late, I'm going to play the Ghost Spears, but I think he's sacrificing. Yeah, he'll just sacrifice that. He's trying to get another position, but I won't leave him to that opportunity here. That is interesting. Tunnel. That's a cool card, but you need to know how to use it properly. I could go tier 3 right now if I wanted to. You know what? He's playing another mortar. Let's start the Barrow spam and kill these mortar towers. I'm not interested in like waiting for eternities to just get close to any well of him. And so the mortar here is gone, which is quite nice. Can use the dried sleep here. Okay, used an ensnaring roots. Just activated the Shrine of Memory, so yeah. My power income is quite huge now. I can try to push the orb because he used Oink onto these Borovas. And yeah, this one is going to drop. And yeah. The split attack is going to work, I guess. And that's game. So this was a pretty methodical win. Not that much about micro because he had like these mortars going around, and that was like not optimal because I can simply pick up power wells and defend them, and yeah, this is why defensive turrets are not working that much. Let me check, is he online? I don't know. Okay, he's offline. Unlucky, I guess. Hoffe, du weißt, wer ich bin. Ja, das hoffe ich doch wohl auch. Ah, Invite. Hey Toggy. Why double Dryad? Well, double Dryad because just of the fact, if I spawn dazed units, like Shaman for instance, and all these units that I want to use in combat, they do have less than 300 HP. But when I have like Dryads around, these dazed units can survive an eruption, because the eruption will just do 225 damage. And therefore these guys just don't die while being dazed, and this is very, very important, so you can throw in a Surge of Light or something. A lot of fire players will use double eruptions, for instance. They invest 150 power, but none of your unit dies. You can just play up a heal for 80 and you countered everything. So having two Dryads is quite important in fights. Because otherwise, if you just have one, the other one doesn't get the buff here, and the focus fire from the fire player will go onto the Dryad, and when it dies, you do have a big problem. So we're going to play some 1v1 now. Okay. I gotta answer Natiak here. He also asked me for a match. Oh, actually, no, I played the wrong deck. That's bad. I just wanted to play Bandits here. Okay. We are starting against fire, right? Yeah, okay. Gonna pick up a power here. It's going to be pure fire because I know the guy I'm playing against, and he's probably going to play pure fire unless he doesn't have the cards already. So Sunstriders. I do want to play a little bit passive early with nature because I need 3 or 4 units at least and some power for crowd controls to fight him, and therefore I will play a little bit farther back here. Okay, that is quite nice here for me. I can still chill a little bit. Now I can decide, depends on what he plays, I can adapt and play other stuff like Spearman for instance, or another Dryad, or Shaman, depends on what he's going to play. I'll hold back some of my power for a potential heal. He's picking up a well. I can pick up a well by myself because I do have a good amount of units right now. And I just don't want to push because he could potentially pick up a mortar. Yeah, but he's not doing that much. So I may add Windweavers into the mix because I do have the choke point here, and adding more ranged units will lead me to more effective use of crowd control. But let's see. I want to engage right now. I just want to fight a little bit. Okay, he's focusing the Dryad here. Yeah, as you can see, I can counter the eruption by using a heal by myself here. I need to keep the Dryad safe, and I can use the Hurricane. So right now, none of my units would die to an eruption, so I can pick up a Shaman in the backline to heal up a lot of that stuff. And he's okay. He needs to be in range of the Dryads though. I'm getting close to 80 power, so if he erupts, I can use another heal here. There's a tier 2 incoming, but this well is going to drop. There's nothing you can do about that. So we're in the lead right now. Yeah, he realized that and gave up that power. I pick up like just the tier 2 by myself because I don't want to play tier 1 against Pure Fire. That's very annoying. Even though I do have a pretty big distance between his base and my base, it's really tough. I also need to split because Wildfire is a pretty big issue to my deck here. Yeah, there are going to be these units. At least I do have the choke point here, so I can zone off his Enforcer, which is nice. So we can pick up these Guide Fiends for free, and also use the fact that I do have these Windweavers and use my range advantage. I do have to be careful though. If I play too many stuff into this, he can play Lava Field and Wildfire, which is going to be quite annoying in this choke point. So I'll use flying units in addition here to support that, but I need to be sure that it is out of days because it's an upgrade 1 Parasite Storm and it's going to die to an eruption immediately, so I need to wait for a while. And well, I know my opponent is going to have some power, so I need to be quite careful at what I'm doing right now. So I think I just played the Parasite Storm because it is quite likely that you could use a Skyfire Drake against all these units, as you can see, because he's just very effective against all these unit types that are played here. So I managed to kill that. I had to oink him though, before I go into offense. Okay, that is quite a problem. Yeah, that I knew that eruption was going to come, but that's fine. I had to oink the Skyfire Drake because otherwise you can like hit like units once and then it's going to be quite bad because he can simply erupt my Parasite Swarm and it dies, and then I do have a big problem. And yeah, that went quite well. Okay, I think this. Okay, gonna pick up Bandits now again. Or maybe it works now, maybe. Okay, he's probably... Is he in-game or something? Oh wait, I can't invite him, so... well, I hope he can invite. invite me right now because I didn't get to do that here. Otherwise I need to relog again, as always. I guess I'll take like 10 seconds or something, or is he relogging right now? I'm not sure. At least I didn't get an invite. So maybe I'm going to restart this, to restart my game and stop the stream for 5 seconds or something. Give me a second. Okay, there we are again. So at least I don't get an error right now. Okay, that worked. So we can play Bandits right now. Let me just pick up a map. I think we didn't play Urmia today. And we crashed. Thank you. Okay, I think we're back again. So we're playing on Haladur, probably against the nature deck here. It's quite interesting. I always like to play against nature with Shadow. It's a very nice to play against. And if you lose, you do have face towers to cover up for that, so there is no way you can lose with the Shadow. At least in tier 1. But let's say I'm not going to use the face towers today, because that would be quite lame. Picking up a power well. Yeah, Spearman, this is the proper start against Shadow. Way better than Amazon of Swiftclaw. Because they are doing M damage against Dread Chargers, are very good health tanks here against Nasty or something. So there's a lot of stuff you can do with them. But yeah, I will be interested in what he is going to try against me. So there's Windweaver's squad. I'd like to see how he approaches here. I'm a split up. And pick up a third Red Charger. So he's trying to wait and not getting into a fight that early. So I try to fight from multiple angles here, because he's using a pretty effective combo. Especially with Windweavers, he can root me down right now if I get too close to him. So I do want to split up my army and attack him at every possible place here. So we're picking up Dread Chargers at every direction. And yeah, that's something he needs to deal with, because otherwise he's going to lose 2 power walls or something. So he's using Spearman over here. And an Ensnaring Roots, so I know he doesn't have roots here. So I can use the first Nasty and force out the heal, that's fine. Gonna pick up the additional resources here. So we're probably going to trade wells, so that's quite fine actually for him so far. That is a sweet idea of playing that right. Probably predicting my Nasty. Oh wait, that was bad. Oh my god. I took way too much damage before I had to before I was able to play that Nasty. Now that one is going to be way more effective. As you can see, what was my actual plan here? I was splitting up my attacks so I could lower his power funneled into these units here. So I do have a lot of additional void power to sort of defend this attack. He didn't have the void income because his units were still sitting here, and this gave me an advantage in this fight to keep this well alive for a much longer time. But he did a very good job at attacking though. That was a decent decision. So I can use Forsaken here because I do have them rooted into that place, and Frenzied Forsaken are quite nice to have. I will soak them up though because I need them. And right now we can use. I hope the Dreadshotter can attack once, so then I can SD. Oh, okay, one of them survived. That is unfortunate, but we used the Forsaken just to finish off units, and now we can defend the power well because we can heal up, and then we get the return. Hey, high tech. And as you can see, we managed to defend this assault, and yeah, it was a well played attack though. And now we got a lot of control over that map, and can pick up a second power well because Spearmen are quite slow, and yeah. Therefore, there's not. Even though I failed that one Nasty, to be honest, I sort of went full greed with that. I managed to defend that because he had like 2 Spearmans over here, which was like 140 bound power, and yeah, that was putting him behind way too much. So yeah. Okay, that was too late. I didn't react in time. That was bad by me, but yeah. Whatever. Yeah, they don't get hit by that. It's perfect. We're using a Dark Elf Assassin spam to close that out. Gonna use the ability. I need to make sure that I split as well as possible against Hurricane, and yeah, then I just need to get rid of these annoying units. Okay, these ones. Okay, give me a second. He's not focusing these ones, so I can motivate. Spirit Hunters are quite effective against that type of attack. I'm not sure if I can hold this attack. I think I cannot do that. Attacking an orb is always quite annoying. I'm not gonna give him the opportunity to distract me with the energy parasite. I honestly don't give him opportunities. Let's see if I can take out this one now. Just need to make sure that I split my units against crowd control again. He doesn't have any area of effect ability, so I'm fine by sort of using my units in these spots. Okay. This is what I meant earlier on. Okay, we got that orb. Das gute alte Legflops, denken die mich an. So sieht's aus. Okay. Well. We won. Okay. That's nice. And so, yeah. On Haladu you do have a big advantage in that matchup when playing Shadow against Nature. Because you can use the side paths to get some micro advantages. So I think we're going to play Nature now against that, and then I'm going to play two Bandits games, yeah. Because I played Nature twice in a row just a while ago, and therefore it's not 50-50 again. So let me check. Where's my lost trigger? There we go. So playing Nature this time. Moin Syntax. Oh, my deck doesn't work. I cannot. Okay. I need to relook. I had to relock as well. That was stupid by me. Okay, there we are again. Hopefully this time without any ready bugs. Or lobby bugs or whatever. Okay, Nature. So I think we're playing against Fire Tier 1. So yeah, I'm going to use the Swiftclaw again. You don't have to start Swiftclaw against Fire all the time. I just prefer to do it on big maps because the high well distance is just a pain. But as you can see, like as in the last game when I played against Fire, I sort of had the Swiftclaw doing not that much in the early game because I had like 2 Dryads, Windweavers, and a Shaman, and they were sort of doing ranged kiting stuff with Ensnaring Roots, and melee units and roots are just not synergizing well with each other, unless you're having stuff like, you know, the Spearman who can outrange some other units. So yeah, having the Swiftclaw isn't always the best thing you can have here. So he's pushing quite aggressively. Not sure if I want to match that, but he has just 1 unit, so I can sort of go into these somewhat dazed fights because I do have the advantage of having these Dryads that can I'm gonna root that one. So let's see what he's going to do. He's picking up tier 2 again. I think it's Fire Nature, right? Yeah, it is. I would like to pick up a power wall, but I'm not sure if I can hold against Borrowers. That's quite an issue for nature. It has quite a big problem at dealing with Borrower spam in the early game. So I have to pick up tier 2 by myself. My power wall is in a pretty safe spot though, so I'm fine for now. He's picking up a power wall by himself. Interesting. I could try to attack, but I think I'm gonna play it safe for now. And probably use the energy parasite quite soon. Yeah, I think he played Ghost Spears right now, so yeah, and the Borrower, perfect. So you won't have the power for an Skyfire Drake here, at least that's what I assume. And we're gonna... Okay, that's perfect. We managed to get off 25 power. These advantages gained by the energy parasite are huge, so... So Ravage here. I'm trying to get another 25 power here. Did he spawn too late? I'm not sure. I think he spawned right in time. My bad. I should have pulled back. That was greedy, I guess. But yeah, he cannot attack without support. Skyfire without support is like worth nothing. And yeah, I think I can pick up a Shrine of Memory right now. Ghost Spears, and yeah, I don't see a Borrower right now, so I'm fine, I guess. Now he needs to Ravage the Skyfire, otherwise he's going to lose that. And that's all I want, so for now. Okay, use the Hurricane. But it's going to run out, and we're going to pick up another squad of Spirit Hunters, and I think we're going to hold off here. Oh, that heal was unlucky. That was unlucky. Okay, we didn't get to attack him again. That's so fine. I'll just soak up the attacks up until my shrine is ready. It's not dying. But otherwise I could have played a... I could have played that sweet energy parasite again. I want to split up here again. Yeah, because of the Hurricane. But yeah, we are going to be fine. Because we do have enough power for a deep one, and our Shrine of Memory is ready. Even though it's just upgrade 1, we can still use it to quite a decent effect. I'll keep the Spirit Hunters out of Oink Rage, so I don't get CC'd to death here. As you can see, now I can still attack with my Spirit Hunters. And yeah, he may drop that well, but it's not going to matter that much because I do have 2 deep ones, and the echoing push is going to be like that the counter push is going to be deadly for him. You cannot defend that anymore.
A monument is under attack.
Yeah, we got that one. So this game is going to be over quite soon. Can use the ability of the Deep One to pull in the Gladiatrix. I do have way too much power. I will use the the distance here from the barrower, so I can attack without being inked. And I also use the hurricane right here, so you can't repair the power well anymore. I'm probably going to lose that one, whatever. So it doesn't matter. I'm gonna get these 2 wells. And I still do have the shrine. Let's see, is my power income big enough? No, it's not. So maybe this orb is going to hold off, but just maybe. This void income is pretty decent. Plus 19, plus 20 for a 3 power wall match is a pretty huge energy income. So I'm somewhat fine here, and I'll just pull him back. The root is not going to work against deep ones. And the shrine is going to work in like a couple of seconds again. So he's not splitting his units against the crowd control, so I can use Curse of Oink. That should have been a heal. I'm not sure why my D1 ran in that circle here. I'm gonna pick up tier 3 over here. I do have the power to do so. Okay, never mind. Hello at everyone who just joined the stream recently. Okay, Haladur, there it is again. Do nature again. Well, I did quite a few nature games though. I just wanted to play, or whatever. I'll do a nature game again and then we play Bandits. Unless someone says something else here. Let's just do another nature game. Thanks. You're welcome. Let me check. Is he playing fire again? Yeah, he is. I always start after my opponent with my first spawn in nature, because I always want to know that that there is no shadow tier 1, because Swiftclaw is entirely useless against shadow tier 1. So I can always adapt with my starting unit. Against a lot of colors on small maps you can also start Dryad, and therefore, yeah, I really want to avoid getting into these unfortunate fights where I get like my Swiftclaw and it's gonna be blown up by Nox Troopers. So he's playing 2 Sunstriders, pretty standard so far. So he's doing a smart thing, attacking the Dryad before it sort of gets out of position. Okay, that is an interesting approach. I'm gonna root that up. So okay, that's apparently a decent eruption. I think I want to get out here. Need to split against another one though. So right now, let me check the loser that win that fight. Okay, there's a mortar tower. Wee. That is annoying to play against. I still do have some time to react though. Oh, the tower's up. That's bad. That's bad. Abort mission! Can I heal both of them? I think I cannot do that. I need to heal them. There was like no chance of fighting back once I lose that fight without getting the mortar. So I'm gonna pick up Wind Weavers so I can. I think the I'm not sure if the eruption did hit anything. I think it went onto the shaman, so I think that was actually. Yeah, I think that was what was breaking the fight here. Otherwise, he would have won that. That eruption was pretty unfortunate for him. And now he has to run away, and I can pick up this well, even though I don't have an actual power advantage. Even though I don't have that, I can still pick up the well because he still has these low HP units that have to run. So, yeah. I guess I'm fine right now. Also, I can keep a big distance between myself and him here, so I can pretty much pick up a tier 2 here safely. And even though he's tier 2 much earlier than me, I can just wait out up until the first borrowers are going to hit my base or any other units. Skype fiends are coming. Okay. So I guess I need the melee mode here. I think I'm going to sacrifice my tier 1 units because they are not that strong. Yeah, he invested in ensnaring roots. That is fine, I guess. Or maybe, you know what? I'm gonna support them a little bit. Maybe I get down to Sky Fiends. Maybe not. I'm not sure if this is enough. Come on, Shaman. Nice. That's worth it. That's everything I wanted, even though I'm going to lose that slow shaman here. I need to root early here. So we got the Borrower for free, which is what I wanted here. I will pick up these Spirit Hunters. Okay, they got off one shot, so that's worth it. I'll use the orb to also damage the Skyfire Drake. Hurricane is going to be too late because they already got their poison off. And now we can pick up our Shrine of Memory because we do have a pretty safe position with an extra well, so it's looking good. I can pick up this well because it's close to my orb, but I don't want to pick up wells on the side or something because they are quite hard to defend against borrowers. Let me see what he's going to do. If he's trying to well up, I will attack immediately. Okay, that was unfortunate, but okay, it's still fine, I guess. Okay, that's fine. We do have the Spirit Hunters out of the Oink, and I'll pull him closer here. Okay, perfect. Okay, that eruption was interesting. sort of came in just before my heal. Maybe he predicted that. Would be a nice move though. I started the attack a little bit earlier, but then my Shrine of Memory started working for me, and as you can see, I get that much power out of it that I can go tier 3 already. I'm just here running around with my units and forcing him to sort of ravage his Skyfire forever. Oh, maybe I'm oinking that for now. Oh wait, that was unfortunate, I guess. Well. I could have moved further away so I didn't have to invest the heal, but you know, whatever. The bad thing is I don't have that effective anti-air here. So well, let's get in the completely awfully upgraded Fathom Lord. Hello. Time to pick up another one. But it's pretty much the same concept. Even though I cannot defend this well from dropping here, the counter attack will be the end of the game. So yeah, maybe he's gonna drop that one too. My tier 3 is quite a lackluster, to be fair. I'll just walk down to that spot. So there's some more Tower incoming. That is a sweet idea. Well, it's fine. I mean, he dropped 2 wells, so it's not the worst outcome for him. Yeah, now he actually had to defend here because my units appeared. And I do have the Spirit Hunters to deal with the Skyfire. I mean, he did well here. That was a nice idea. I'ma kill the Spirit Hunters because they are just not doing anything for me in the future here. Oh, okay. Apparently he's going to hold off for a while here. Maybe I should really go for the power wells now. Because I lost that one here. I am actually surprised by that. Yeah. Had to go for the power well first, I guess. Maybe I can... Okay, miss it. Maybe... Yeah, I could cancel. I think going tier 3 was maybe too early, it seems. Because even though my power income is quite huge, there was still a lot of counterplay here by him. And this will drag out the game for a while. I just got that 1 well and I lost 2. That is... that was not that clean. So there's the next Borover and... well... I still needed something better for my tier 3. Poison is killing the Skyfire though, which is nice. I guess I'm going to change to see that because otherwise I'm going to lose anything here. He's doing a good job. Oh wait, that didn't hold for like 1 second or anything. That is interesting. Okay. Gotta root that. While running. If we get down that nature orb, I think we will be fine, because then he can't play any annoying borrowers anymore, so... Yeah, he's already turning. Just nice. Can we run out? Yeah, we can't. That's annoying. But I think we can maybe snipe the third borrower with our orb. Perfect. And we can just pick up another Fathom Lord. Okay, I think right now we got him. I think my tier 3 timer was quite bad, to be fair. Yeah, that was questionable. Completely slowed me down here in that game. And yeah, I think I should have waited up to a point where I ended up dragging out this game. Jesus, that game was quite poorly played by me. Whew. Oh, no one bought my deep coil. Okay, well, I'm gonna play Bandits again. So if anyone is going to play here, just let me know. Okay, Bandits this time. Gonna play. Hopefully this time I'm going to play somewhat cleaner. Okay, there's the Amazon, which is quite good for me. Bandits, literally 2 cards. Well, at least I do have two cards on my Bandit stack. There are a lot of people who have like none, like literally 0. So well, that deck name. I am not sure why you would like to pick up an Amazon in these fights. I still do not know that. Sure what he's planning to do. Otherwise I'm sending the Nox troopers into his base. If he's going tier 2, I'm rushing. Using the Dread Charger. Okay, that is unfortunate. I didn't get to kill these Woundweavers, so my Dread Charger actually... Wow, they both didn't come out of daze. Sweet. Yeah, well... Now that my unit's starting to get out of daze, I think this game's over. This is why I don't start with Amazon in this matchup. It's putting you way too far behind. So I'm going to play second... let's pick up Haladu again. Second map with this Bandits deck, because I played a lot of nature in the last games. So yeah. Okay, we gotta get a rematch here. So let's see how this one goes. So when we restart this time, this is much more interesting to play against. So I don't want to fight the Windweaver spam supported with roots head on, so I'm splitting up. And yeah, I just make sure that I don't get rooted here that early on. And then I try to get down one of these two power walls here, because Shadow just has these strong early cards, while Nature has the ability of outscaling me here, unless I use these nasty face towers. Let's see, did he spawn anything? No, he didn't. So I can use... okay. And push with the Dread Charger. Well, would be interesting to see if he spawns anything over here. So he uses the Shaman, so I'm gonna push further into the base. So here's the mistake. That answering roots was just a clean advantage for me, because right now I can just do a clean well focus. It's going to drop regardless of what he does, as you can see. There it goes.
Your forces are under attack.
Well, now I'm picking up tier 2, because nature units are quite weak against tier 2. And there's no way to push that, especially with 210 power in the main base. So I can just pick up Dark Elf Assassins. Now he has to decide to either Hurricane them or Roots. He's doing none of them, he's retreating. So I can just pick up another power wall. Like, I could push, but that's quite risky because I don't have crowd control. Okay, now I can push here. He gave me another base to attack, so let's try it. I mean, he's doing a good job by kiting here. But I think it will take a little bit of time up until his wind weavers are approaching. Okay, gonna erupt. Just dealing with these ones. I may end up in a well trade, but okay, no, I don't. Perfect. That worked quite well. So that's why Haladu is like so good for Shadow Tier 1 at least in this matchup. Like, you do have the upper hand against Frost and Nature. Against Fire it's not that easy because Thugs can sort of cover up choke points. Okay. So, I don't know. Since these games always ended up being over in Tier 1, I'm gonna play another Bandits game. But yeah, hopefully the lobby doesn't crash or anything, so I can play. So there are going to be 3 pages of PvP, so I guess if I don't get any opponents in the next 2 minutes... Oh, there is one. Deck level 3, I think this is going to be somewhat unfair. But I'm not sure if he's going to play. Yeah, he is. I think he's going to farm for the quest or something, or maybe because Lost Horror, that looks like a PvE deck, probably, or like the starter deck. But yeah, hopefully he's not using towers or anything, because that will slow down me quite by a lot. So I'd have to wait for tier 3 or anything. But let's check. Maybe he's also using a PvP deck and just lacks the upgrades. Okay, he has Sunstriders though. Well, there we go. Getting up a power well. Close well is quite nice against fire because I can use Forsaken and simply kite. Makeshift tower. I think I want to blow that up. It was worth it because I damaged the power well and got 110 for 110, so that's more than fine. So here are Thugs. Gonna chase up my Forsaken. Gonna pick up some more here so I can kite. Another makeshift tower, which is annoying. This time I can't nasty in time. But I guess I can still rush that quite soon. I'll split a little bit against eruptions, and you know what, I think I can just go aggressive because he's not using his units to full effect. And yeah, I can almost push this well down for free, which is giving me a pretty big advantage. Oh, I need to split against any possible eruptions. Maybe you can nest into the Sunstress. Okay, he's retreating, so just making sure that these Thugs are not hitting my units. There you go. Okay, We're fine, we got that power wall. That leader is going to be snowballed to victory quite soon. I'll just heal up my Forsaken and then I'll go for the main base because, well, there's no tower to knock back my units over there. Which makes things quite more comfortable for me. Just need to make sure that I split up a little bit against eruptions or mines or whatever he's going to throw at me. No, what? Maybe I can just try to focus down the orb. Ah, maybe not. Let's play it for the power walls. Just want to get that one down. Yeah, okay. We did that. I can't split properly because the makeshift tower is still there knocking back my units if I run over there. That is quite unfortunate. So let's just hope that he doesn't use eruptions. Well, that's unfortunate. If I get down that orb, I will get these two wells as well, so that's quite fine. Let's do some motivate. I'll also walk up to that spot here, so you can't rebuild tier 1, so that game is over in 60 seconds. Well, I think outside of this makeshift tower, it seemed to be like a PvP deck, but yeah. Still, it's not that fair if you play without upgrades against a level 90 deck or something. So, Mass Frenzy to finish off the last power walls. I'm gonna motivate. Okay, give me a second. I'd like to do a 1v1 too, but it's my 4th PvP match then. Well, we can do a 1v1. I guess I need to relog. I will add him to my friend list. So okay, I think he's relogging as well. So 1 second. Okay, there we go. I think it was him here. Yeah. Let's just pick up Sima E. So maybe we can play nature to win this game. Okay, let me check what he's going to do as his starting unit. Okay, he's playing nature. So we'll start with Swiftclaw here to occupy the middle position, and then we will attack on the side immediately, because if you start Swiftclaw or Spearman, you actually want to attack early, because otherwise these melee units will lose their strength in extended battles due to kiting by roots and crowd control, all that stuff. So this is why we engage early. And add up a Dryad here in the mix. Spearmen are quite a nice choice, but too many S units are quite are not that optimal. Gonna chase him down with a Swiftclaw. We got a clear advantage because we killed the Spearman already, and now we got an Ensnaring Roots, which is going to be an even bigger advantage, because even though he is focusing my units, I can still heal them up to an extent here. And use the Hurricane, because now I used two of his S units. You want to avoid using that much crowd control unless you actually manage to kill something, because otherwise you can just build up more and more shamans, and at some point the nature army ends up being unstoppable, like that one. Oh, I forgot to switch back to attack mode. No, well, let's just focus him down here. Oh, gotta pick up another starting point. The Hurricane was still not optimal, let's be honest. And there you go. That's gonna be the end. The end of that game. There we go. I think I can upgrade my Shrine of Memory right now, so this is also like one of the biggest problems I do have, because the energy income is just significantly lower without the first and second upgrade. So I always overestimate the amount of power I do have when my shrine is running, but in the end I just get much less power than I apparently do expect. Okay, I'm gonna pick up Bandits for this game, if it works. So, okay. Let's pick up that map. So what is the nasty K? 1.3k? I think the nasty cap is 1000, so 990, because it's not exactly reflecting that. You can just check that. Like, you can see that's 990 to like 3 targets, and like the fourth takes 30 damage, so it's 3k. So let's pick up the match here. So we are facing probably something like Shadow Frosts or something like that. Oh, okay. So picking up first power well, and first seconds are incoming. Just need to make sure that I don't run into nasty. There we go. Just picking up some Forsaken by himself. I couldn't go for the full engage because the distance between my Dread Charger and okay, he's probably... Is he opting for a nasty surprise? I'm not sure if he is. But I will focus his Dread Charger first, so... Oh, I lost my Dread Charger and his one survived. That is bad. That is bad. I got outplayed here, but I got 2 of his Dread Chargers on low HP, so I can still take that fight if I play properly. Do I get the power to... Oh no! No! I motivated my Forsaken here exactly in the wrong time. I'm gonna lose that fight probably. That was unfortunate. I think now I can start microing if it's necessary. Okay, for Frenzy that I'm gonna pull back. Usually if you do have high Forsaken numbers, you don't want to micro them anymore, because they actually start to completely knock down your units before you can pull them back, unless you sort of predict which one is going to be focused in the end. Okay, need to be very careful with that Red Charge, otherwise he's going to nasty into that. Okay, he's gonna do that. That nasty was actually effective. My bad. That was a unfortunate set of events here. That nasty, but he still has these Forsaken around. They are binding 50 power for him, so I'm still completely fine here in that scenario. So all I need to do is keep up in power wells here for now, deflect that attack, and then we're going to launch our own counter attack and maybe get down a well or something. Yeah, I used the Forsaken to motivate, but that's simply not worth it, because he had like 50 bound power for such a long time. Now I'm gonna micro, because there are just 2 Forsakens here, 2 frenzied ones. Now there's 1 frenzied squad, so... That damage is massive. That damage is quite big. Just picking up Shadow Frost here, as expected. I'll pick up another well. Ah, friendly Z, these 2. Yeah, that is exactly what I wanted. I wanted him to use the Dark Elf Assassins and sort of slow down in the game, so I can pick up tier 2 by myself to buy some time for defensive units and that stuff. I'm not sure if I do want a lava field right now. I think I do. because he has frenzied Nightcrawlers. I'm not sure if like maybe I should leave that well. Should drop. I was greedy with that. That was a greedy decision. I'm actually behind. It's unfortunate. Oh, I need to soak up that damage here, otherwise I do have a problem. That well positioning was a little bit too aggressive. I should have picked up a power over here or something like that. I'm just moving in position in case he picks up something. That's all. Otherwise I won't do anything for now because I just lost one power and that's quite bad for me. He's using a Storm Singer. Maybe he's trying to split attack or something. I really need to be careful. Shadowfrost is quite a tough matchup. But yeah, now he picked up a power. I would try to attack his main base here. So he's picking up a lot of powers. Okay, I need to make sure that we don't lose trades too hard here. Yeah, nice, we got the Storm Singer. That's perfect. So you can force out more power. I really want to play a little bit more defensive right now. Just because of the fact that I lost the one power here. Otherwise I would have played much more aggressive here. I cannot save that Nightcrawler anymore. But it's still fine. For now I can start playing a little bit more forward. Straightforward. Gonna need to, yeah, that is perfect. That was a clear mistake, that nasty here. Even though I can get into range, it's not enough. I had to cancel the Storm Singer ability with my lava field here, and now she just dies, which is perfect. But he picked up tier 3, which is, yeah, exactly what you want to do with that situation. I will frenzy that one. Okay. Good thing is that my Skyfire Drake resisted to the freeze here, just because of the fact that he was CC'd already. Okay, there's the timeless one. Trying to... Yeah, we dodged the freeze, perfect. That is perfect. Now we can use that time to go tier 3 by ourselves. Even though I have to admit, playing against timeless 1 tier 3 is quite difficult. But we managed to get a good start right here. Oh boy, he's playing quite well. Oh, that is a problem. I mean, if he's only using Okay, if we get this well, everything is fine. Okay, we don't. That's unfortunate. But we do have a pretty good tempo advantage right now due to his curse well, which is nice. Perfect. We got to kill that timeless one in time. And we gotta kill that one too. Nice. Exactly what we wanted. Yeah, we do have that one out of range. That is good. We managed to equalize that disadvantage we had by losing that one power well here. Yeah, that one resisted, so right now we can try to refresh. Okay, we didn't get that one, but so that's okay. Giant Slays are quite powerful in these situations. I'm gonna just buff that Giant Slayer here. He's not going to kill it. And now the orb drops. Perfect. Like, this is one of the reasons why you actually would like to play Bandits, because the tier 3 is actually insanely strong. With buffed L units and all that stuff. It is quite good, so... Okay, double frenzy. I think this one dies, but that's okay. I still do have a lot of tempo advantages here to close out that game. I think the curse well was way too early played, so even though he managed to kick one power well by me, he sort of lost control over the game for that in return. I'm just going out of range for that one. Oh, I should have looked for the charge. Can we dodge the freeze? Yeah, we can. And now we just use the Soul Hunter to close out that game. Yeah, the curse will sort of costed him the game. That is perfect. Well. Gotta get one rematch with nature here, and I guess then I'm going to end the stream because I think I was online for quite a while right now. I think he's going to relog. I think I should do the same. Give me seconds. Okay, there we go. Back again. So, is tier 3 rarely played in PvP? Yeah, tier 3 is pretty rare, but it will probably you will sort of end up in tier 3 in like, let's say 10% out of your games. Depends on your playstyle. If you play for a pretty slow early game and you want to pick up a lot of powers, then we'll end up in tier 3 much more often. But otherwise you can also try to play around your tier 2 and yeah, just for tier 4. Tier 4 is just completely not used in PvP, but I guess that's pretty obvious. So yeah. Thoughts on Sunreaver in PvP? I think, well, he used to be quite good, but after the nerf, I think Sunreaver took quite a big hit. Oh, I guess I need to relog. Give me a second, then I will answer your question. Okay, so there we are. Crash. Oh, he's already in the group, probably with me. That's unfortunate. Yeah, he relogs. So Sunreaver lost a lot of his DPS. He now needs a pretty big time until he builds up his damage, and therefore he lost his power where he was used for it. Because usually you would use Sunreaver as an all-around counter, and I think he did a pretty good job at that because he had a pretty big HP pool. Like on upgrade 3, it was like 2,000 or 1,980, and his damage was pretty ridiculous. He was out damaging sort of L counters for L units, out damaging some XL counters for XL units, and so on. So he was doing a pretty big job with his huge burn. But since he actually sort of got nerfed and his damage now needs such a huge time up until he builds up, it's getting quite annoying to play, because he doesn't work in the defensive situations as well as he used to. So that's quite unfortunate. But he is maybe playable, but still below average compared to what he sort of used to be. Abyssal Warder, like the card is, I would say, okay, like not that great, not that bad. I mean, it's very hard to get rid of that. It has a pretty good stat cost efficiency if you look at that, because the guy dies and respawns, and also, which is quite nice, if the main guy, the big one, dies, the void power already starts returning into your pool, while you still do have like the little guys running around, which is quite a nice feature. Um, but the thing is, the unit is quite slow for 1v1s, because it takes a lot of time up until you manage to be able to use him. And I think I would consider playing something that is sort of stronger in terms of base nuke in the tier 3 for a pure nature. In 2v2 it sort of depends. I think you can play Abyssal in 2v2s because it's a good choice, but for 1v1 it's quite it's average at best. Let's say it that way. So there's going to be a Nox spam, but Nox spam is without any support is not going to win against classic Windweaver spam. So I am actually surprised, and I would like to see what he's trying to do here. So I want to get an angle onto one of the Nox troopers on the side here and root down the other ones, so they can't attack. Gonna heal here. And as you can see, already lost a lot of Nox troopers. So this one will die, and now we try to get rid of the Dread Charger because it's going to be quite annoying. As you can see, the Nox troopers can't finish off the Wind Weavers, and if I get to heal, yeah, this fight is going quite well for now. Oh, this one died though, and the Dread Charger is dazed. Okay, that is unfortunate for him. That is very unfortunate. Now I can just use the double attack to increase the range of the Wind Weavers. Really nastied into that. Okay, that was fine, because he killed one of the units, which worked out surprisingly. So yeah, that one killed 2 units as well, but okay, he's using the overloads. I usually try to block that overload so it doesn't kill the shaman. Works quite well against the burst damage, and then we sort of continue the siege, because the second nasty sort of killed the units, but they were damaged already, so I had to put down 2 nasties to deal with that, and didn't work that well. Now I can spam Nox troopers because I do have 2 M units around, and I need to be very careful with using them. But still, I'm in a good spot here if I don't waste these 2. He's making good use of the power wall at hiding the Nox troopers, so I can't focus out anything too early, but I do have the scaling advantage, so I will simply wait up until I do have some additional units here. Gonna pick up another group for the Shaman and the Dryad, so I don't have to select them in this big army here. I think I want to attack the power wall here, so he's coming out. Yeah, that is exactly what I want here. This Dread Charger will be food for my Wind Weavers. And also the double attack damage will go onto one of the other Nox troopers here. Or the power wall that took 400 damage here for free. And the damage I actually took with my Wind Weavers wasn't like that relevant here. Gonna do the same again. So if he nasties, he's gonna sort of hit his own units. So right now he tries to move around the ensnaring routes, which is fine, but as you can see, I can still sort of try to micro around the units here. Well, we lost the Dryad, but that's okay. That's more than okay. Okay, there's no nasty surprise. That's good. Maybe I could have healed. Was a possibility, definitely. But these Wind Weavers are coming out of daze, so I think we are going to win that fight. So, perfect. Yeah, moving back here, so he hits his own stuff with the nasty. Not only my units, but okay. Right now, if he nasties, his well falls, so whatever. Maybe I should have just... yeah. Well, that attack went over. Now we pick up tier 2 and this game's over. He may pick up tier 2 by himself, but I can still use Borrowers and all that stuff. Or maybe I can pick up a Closewell and spam energy parasites. I think that is pretty trolly, but no, let's play seriously and attack with Borrowers. Yeah, I had to move around. Like, not losing the Borrower here is probably more important than anything else. And there we go. Now we do have 3 borrowers, and yeah, that was a good nasty, but I can still pick up more units over here. And I still have a lot of power to support them. I need to get out of range here for a nasty though. Wanted to oink. Gonna try to attack at 2 spots, even though I have to attack an orb for that. Okay, Glacier Shell, gonna focus the other power here. And also move around so the Nightcrawler doesn't get any hits onto my borrowers here. Need to heal it, even though it's annoying. I can still use the crowd control support because I have a lot of DPS on the board here onto these wells and the orb going, which is doing a lot of work. Okay, nice. We won that. Perfect. So yeah, I guess that was the last game I've played for today. Thanks for watching. I'm going to stream as soon as possible for the next time at least. Guess I am going to play some other decks, maybe Fire Nature or anything like that. Maybe also Fire Frost or Shadow Frost. I don't know. Depends on how many upgrades I do get for my other decks up until then. So yeah. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.